Here's the Spurs News Roundup with me, Harry Scarfe, providing the latest top news all in one place in the last 24 hours. If you need the channel, please like and subscribe. First part of the video will be your Tottenham headlines the last 24 hours, and the second part of the video will be your analysis on every single story. So let's get straight into it then, provide you the latest Tottenham news. Hope you're all keeping well. So Tottenham's Champions League fixture dates have been confirmed, so let's go through them. Tuesday the 16th of September, by the way these are all UK time, so the Tuesday the 16th of September is Villarreal at home, 8pm. Tuesday the 30th of September, Bodo Glimt away, again 8pm. Wednesday the 22nd of October, AS Monaco away, 8pm. Tuesday the 4th of November, Copenhagen at home, 8pm. Wednesday the 26th of November, Paris Saint-Germain away, 8pm. Tuesday the 9th of December, Slavia Prague at home, 8pm. Tuesday the 20th of January, Borussia Dortmund at home, 8pm. And Wednesday the 28th of January, you guessed it, 8pm, Eintracht Frankfurt away. So to break it down, just do it firstly in months. So in September, Tottenham will play Villarreal at home, Bodo Glimt away. October it's AS Monaco away. We've got November next, and that's Copenhagen at home and Paris Saint-Germain away. December's just Slavia Prague at home. And January is Borussia Dortmund at home and Eintracht Frankfurt away. 8 days apart. So Villarreal at home is the first Champions League game for Tottenham, being at home as well. It's the first one. Next report from Sheffield Sports Comms states that Sheffield United are pushing to sign Tottenham Hotspur winger Manuel Solomon on a season-long loan. The Tottenham under-21 secured a 1-0 win over Nottingham Forest earlier yesterday. Next report from Paqueta report that West Ham turned down a proposal from Tottenham to sign Lucas Paqueta last week. Sky Sports News report that Tottenham made a €20 million bid to Manchester City for Manuel Akanji, eclipsing the €15 million plus add-ons offer made by AC Milan. The player would like to stay in England and play Champions League football too. An answer is expected soon. The offer AC Milan have made to the players' camp. Next, Team Talk report that Atalanta have contacted various clubs around Europe in recent days attempting to facilitate selling Tottenham target Adama Lookman. A permanent transfer would cost around £35 to £40 million, although a late loan deal has not been ruled out either. Next, La Gazzetta dello Sport report that Tottenham are currently leading the competition to sign Manchester City defender Manuel Akanji. AC Milan and Crystal Palace both want centre-backs too, and both want this player as well, but Spurs have the advantage that they can provide him with Champions League football he desires. Manchester City want €15 million plus bonuses for him, which all three clubs can easily agree to. New signing Xavi Simons was shown off in front of the Tottenham fans today. Tottenham did lose, unfortunately 1-0 against Bournemouth in the Premier League, where Tottenham conceded their first goal of the season, lost their first game as well. So it was defeat for Spurs against Bournemouth. Xavi Simons was shown off to the Tottenham Hotspur fans. Sky Italy report that Tottenham have made a €20 million bid for Manchester City defender Manuel Akanji. This proposal beats the €15 million plus bonuses bid from AC Milan. The player prefers to remain in the Premier League, and AC Milan now fear that Spurs will hijack the proposed transfer. Thomas Frank has played down the chances of Tottenham Hotspur signing another central defender before the transfer deadline day on Monday. Frank said, "We have right now 3 centre-backs, Mickey, Romero, Danso. Ben can play there if necessary. We have Kota, the young central defender we bought this summer and is running now and training with the team next week, or training with the ball. There's not many left behind. Dragston is coming back in a couple of months, so I think that should be enough." Asked if he meant what he meant, if he meant that he didn't need another centre back, Frank just wanted to say no, not as it stands currently. We do not need to add another centre back. Tottenham summer signings so far in this window then, and all these fees are reported by transfermarket.co.uk. So the Australian Kevin Danso, for £21.6 million. The Frenchman Matthias Tell for £30 million. The Japanese Kota Sakai for £5 million. Got Ghanaian Mohamed Kudus for £55 million. Portuguese João Palhinha is the loan and £25.9 million buy option. And a Dutchman, new signing Xavi Simons from RB Leipzig, £51.9 million. brings the total spend to 163.5 million, so 163.5 million for Tottenham in this summer window. Xavi Simons on why he moved to Tottenham. Simons said, first of all, the project suited me. The second most important thing for me is the coach. I spoke to him, he showed me a presentation that really impacted me, and that was my final decision for me. It's the right coach, the right people, and I believe that we will achieve really good things. Obviously, we spoke about football, the way he sees the team, the way he sees me in the team. The second part was that I had a really, really good feeling with him. I think that connection that you have and that you need at the start of everyone is very important. And after that first meeting, I said to my family, yeah, this is it. Thomas Frank has admitted that his forward players were nowhere near the level required against Bournemouth on Saturday. Frank said none of them hit high level, and that happens sometimes, I'm very aware. I don't want to say it's okay. The attendance at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Saturday for the game against Bournemouth was 61,250. Opta Joe report that Tottenham have failed to win the corresponding fixture after beating Manchester City for the 9th consecutive occasion. Tottenham haven't won the first match before an international break since October of 2023. Thomas Frank was asked whether Spurs will sign a striker or not for deadline day. Frank said no, not particularly. To have 3 strikers in the squad can also cause problems. It's a fine balance. I'm not saying we won't look for another striker in a future window, but I'm happy with Richie and Dom. Thomas Frank spoke about the defeat to Bournemouth, saying it was not a top performance. We played against a very good Bournemouth team that played on their strengths, and we didn't handle it well. They deserved to win. They did well in terms of putting pressure on us, and we should have handled it better. Sometimes you don't put your best performance in. It's about staying in the game, which we did do. So the stats for the game, Tottenham-Bournemouth, which ended 1-0 Bournemouth. So the stats, 62% possession for Tottenham compared to 38% of Bournemouth. Tottenham 5 shots, Bournemouth 19. 1 shot on target for Tottenham, 6 for Bournemouth. Expected goals, so XG 0.17 Tottenham, 1.45 Bournemouth. Completed passes, 394 of Tottenham, just 207 of Bournemouth. Pass accuracy, Tottenham had 83% pass accuracy compared to Bournemouth 70%. Touches in opposition box, Tottenham 18, Bournemouth 29. Distance covered in kilometres, 104.7 for Tottenham, 107.1 for Iriola's Bournemouth. It took Tottenham to 68 minutes, by the way, to register the first shot on goal. Thomas Frank was asked about Dominic Solanke pre-match and why he missed out because he wasn't in the matchday squad at all against Bournemouth, and Frank said he's got a minor issue with his ankle which has been grumbling a bit also in pre-season. It's just too much for this game. Now we have the international break, so hopefully you can have him back after that. And last but not least, Xavi Simons spoke about wearing the iconic number 7 shirt at Spurs wore by Shun Min Son, captain, leader and legend. Xavi said everyone loves Son. I know it's a big responsibility, but I'm ready to take it. I'm ready to make my own story. So those are your Tottenham headlines then in the last 24 hours. Let's go through and pick out the key ones, if not all of them. So we've got the confirmed dates of the Champions League, dates and times, all 8 PM kickoffs at the moment. Looks quite good in there. I mean, there's some trips in there I think will be good for away fans. Not as many this year, but I think PSG and Monaco are great games away to go to for fans. I think a lot of fans would have hoped that like Villarreal was away, for example. I think that would have been the hope, but nonetheless I think we have a good chance of progressing with that group that we have got. I think top 8 for the performance yesterday against Bournemouth. I would have said top 8 is achievable. I'm not quite sure now. So Manuel Solomon, don't want to talk about too much to do it because sadly, unfortunately, people have to bring politics into it. I want to focus on the player that's a Tottenham player, and I think a move to the Championship, upper Championship, is good for him in terms of get minutes, but however he done really well at Leeds. It's probably right for the Premier League rather than the bottom end of the Championship. However, for Tottenham, if they don't want him, any players you don't want, you need to get off the books. Also, you've got Lewis Paqueta. I mean, I don't think that we'll be in for him anymore now. We've signed Simmons. I think purely moved to left wingers such as Savinha, such as Lookman. I mean, the ideal dream left winger for me would be Antoine Semenyo of Bournemouth. I really, really do like him. Manuel Akanji, I hope he does choose Tottenham. The latest reports, as I'm recording this video, suggest that he's turned down the move to AC Milan. It feels like Tottenham should be definitely pushing ahead with this because 3 fit centre backs. Though Frank says, "Oh, we're happy," 3 fit centre backs isn't enough in Van der Ven, Romero and Danso. Look at Van der Ven, Romero's injury record. We don't have quite as gun-ho football, gun-ho manager with your high line and bold tactics, and require a lot of kind of running, a lot of strain on like Van der Ven's hamstring. However, cover is absolutely needed. We let Vuskovic go. We need to cover Draxin. Yes, okay, 7 to 10 days, Frank said. on his press conference for the Bournemouth game that he'd be back in training, but he said a couple of months is what he said today in terms of getting back on the pitch and playing regular football, or playing like consistently, even if he's off the bench. So for me, we absolutely need to bring in another centre-back. We want someone to try and challenge Romero and Van der Ven and keep them on toes a little bit. It's a goal difference. You've got Romero and Van der Ven up here. Romero probably just above Van der Ven, and below that is quite a big gap with your Dansos and Dragosins and your Takais. Adama Lukman, who've been linked to, according to Team Talk, I think it would be a really nice signing. I think it didn't really work out for him last time in the Premier League, but it'd be an element of risk to that. He's 27 years of age. Not my preferred candidate for left wing, but there's an option there for Lukman. I think personally loan would be better, would be safer regarding that, but we'll have to see. I mean, Xavi Simmons, I was there at Tottenham Stadium, great to see him introduced, real buzz around the stadium pre-match, quickly killed by the performance on the pitch. I think the mix of Bournemouth played really well and Tottenham didn't play well at all. Maybe Frank got his tactics wrong, and not necessarily selection wrong, but the positioning wrong and things like that, like Styles too high in midfield, things like that. But Tottenham, bad day at the office, it can happen, but typical Spurs always after playing City and before an international break. What must Simmons be thinking? What have I walked into? Or does he look at it and go, oh, this excites me to turn the club around? I don't know, and play a really big part. He can't do it on his own though. The same stretch of the imagination. Interesting that Frank has played down the chances, saying, you know, he doesn't necessarily need other centre-backs. He says like he's happy. He said no, not currently as he stands, when asked whether he signs centre-back or not. Very, very interesting. But on the transfer window itself, just looking at it there, I mean, recruitment's been very good. Something you can't say about Tottenham in recent seasons. To bring in, Kudus, Paulinho, Simmons are good signings. To extend Danso is good. It's really good business. They're great recruitment, but we need to do more for a club that finished 17th in the Premier League last season. There's for me 3 gaps. Excuse me. Left back cover, centre back, and left winger. Of course, you're never going to meet all your priorities, tick all your boxes in the window. So maybe we look at fullback cover in January. It's baffling how we think it's okay to go with Davis as our backup fullback. Nothing against Davis. Going into a season where we want to compete in all 4 fronts, eventually want to win the Premier League and Champions League. The words of our own chairman, though he says a joke, is exactly what he means. So, for me, if we didn't have Champions League, we didn't have Europe, then that makes sense. I love Davis, great servant, but he's past his sell-by date and isn't. If Doggy gets injured or Spence gets injured, Porro gets injured, we've got a real problem on our hands, and that just for me isn't right at all. Not happy with that. Frank Mitten, the forward line, one at the level. They weren't, none of them were like Kudus, but even he was not quite getting it right. Spark there. Crazy stat from Opta Joe saying Tottenham failed to win the corresponding fixture after beating Manchester City on a consecutive occasion. 9 times. That's an awful lot. It reads Tottenham failed to win the corresponding fixture after beating Manchester City for the 9th consecutive occasion. That's just so Spursy and so Tottenham. I hate to use that word, if I'm honest with you. And the fact that we haven't won a game for an international break since October of 2023, so basically 2 seasons, that's not a great stat at all. Also, we've got Thomas Frank talking about signing a striker. Yeah, no surprise. I think Richie and Dom's okay. If Dom's out for a couple of months, then we do need another striker. I say Dom, I do mean Solanke. I think Frank, I like what we said about the Bournemouth defeat. I think it's quite poor. I don't really know what went wrong. Big drop off, and if I'm honest with you, Bournemouth should have won by more, looking at the stats here as well. And I was at the game, and it was, wave after wave of Bournemouth. They controlled the game, and they got a really good game plan. I just don't think we're very good either. That's why I look at it, it's getting that balance of both. We're saying, look, Tottenham are poor, bad day at the office, need to improve, bit of a reality check, but also Bournemouth giving credit as well. But that's your Daily Spurs news roundup. Thank you very much for watching. It's your Tottenham news and full analysis. Thank you for being with me. For now, a massive come on Spurs, like and subscribe to the channel if you're new.